go ahead and start sharing.
Try gummy vitamins from nature. The #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin supplement.
Okay, let's see. All right. We're going to wait a little bit here and get these folks in. Before we get started on the week in wrestling, thank you everybody for coming in. Appreciate that. I am back on the move. I'm doing pretty good. Last week we had a very, very fun WrestlePalooza. I know there was a lot of people that wasn't able to watch it. I know that sucks, especially with, excuse me? Yeah. So, all right, so we're getting in here. Just waiting for a few more to come in. Once we break, I'd say about 15. We'll go ahead and get cracking. We're at 13 viewers right now, so please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and join me here in the chat for today's episode of The Week in Wrestling, brought to you by Little East Creations and the Shed Podcast. We're going to sit here. We're going to chill for a second. We're at 10. Have a good bit of news to talk about here. A little bit of news outside the biz, but a couple things about Braun Strowman. He did make an announcement that he's semi-retired. We're gonna bring more. We're gonna bring some more news in about that in a few. Looking at sources from Wrestling Inc. as well as Bleacher Report and Fightful Wrestling. We have a lot to happen. We got a lot going on in the world of professional wrestling. A lot of wrestling itself has happened. Of course, the post, like the week following WrestlePalooza, Monday Night Raw was an awesome show to watch. The promos throughout the show was great. Hey, Mark. Hi, Mark. We had NXT leading up to No Mercy, which No Mercy was last night. You also had TNA Victory Road that happened Saturday night. There was a lot of great matches that happened in the world of professional wrestling, and I'll be more than glad to talk about that in just a few moments. Yeah, but guess what? I'm a Mark who just so happens to be a professional wrestler of 16 years. Don't hate on my craft. That means you're hating on your own. I do also have some news about they had a certain ex-former WWE, current TNA superstar on his take of the PWI Power 500. I'm gonna bring that up a little bit later on, before I get on to the week reviews for Raw, NXT, SmackDown, TNA, AEW, Collision. So there was so much happening right now. Oh, why would I be AI? Come on now. What kind of idiot do you take me for? Come on now. Just because I got the generated backdrop of our weekend wrestling thing here, even though it should be panoramic, it should be there. Hey, I'm just built different, Cody Hawkinz, for a reason, my friend. Okay. You know what? You see that flag back there? That banner I live by. It's not just a gimmick, it's a way of life. Get familiar. But yeah, there's a decent amount of stuff that happened. Now, I do have quite a few. Let's see. What do you think about versus whose contract? Whose contract are we talking about, Chopper? It says his versus John Cena. Who's his? Clarify that for me, please. Are you talking about Edge? Are you talking about AJ Styles? Or what's up? Because there's a few more people there's like only 2 more people that Cena's going to be facing. He's got Survivor Series and he's got Saturday Night Main Event. That's his last 2 PLEs. Saturday Night Main Event, December 13th, will be John Cena's very last match of his career. It kind of sucks that Cena is not able to retire in his hometown. My honest opinion, I think he should. You know, he should. Well, I mean, at least his home state, like in Boston. You know, I think it would be fair for Cena to retire in the home state where he started. You know, yeah, he's from West Newbury, Massachusetts. Yes, but I feel like he should have his last match near home. Because I mean, it's, you know, it's that hometown feel. I mean, West Newbury doesn't have a big arena or anything like that, but BUTT, Boston is the best place to be. The situation with Drew McIntyre, honestly, I mean, it's really all about the development of the character, of the storyline. Excuse me, sorry. I'm just raspberry Schweppes ginger ale is freaking awesome, but it gives me the burps like crazy. I don't know, man. What they're doing with Drew, you know, him being the whiny baby, saying like he always has his opportunities taken away from him and all that stuff. It's really all about the development of that storyline. Now, if Drew needs that one match to get his character put into a reality check, and, you know, for him to, you know, wake up. You know, that's how I feel about it. His character needs to wake up. Hey, babe. You know, so hopefully creative has a better way to go around I think there's a lot of negativity about Drew McIntyre. I kind of feel like it's a slightly off path, but like I said, if done properly, Drew will benefit so much from that storyline. But it just depends on what they're doing and how are they going to do it. You know, so that's my take on the Drew McIntyre angle. I like what they're doing, but it just kind of feels like it's like a broken record. It's like he's complaining about something, he gets a shot, he flops. He's complaining some more, he gets an opportunity, he flops. He complains some more, rinse, lather, and repeat. That's just me, though. You know, everybody has their take on how they view the backdrop of, or the layout of WWE storytelling, but it's still a great product. Whether Drew is on Raw or he's on SmackDown, It really doesn't matter what show he's on. He's already cemented himself as a mainstay of the main roster. You know, even with COVID, him becoming WWE champion, beating Lesnar at that WrestleMania, the COVID Mania, you know, he's had a lot of time to work and to get things down. And I think right now he's good where he's at, but it could. Everybody says it could always be better. So I'm definitely about that. I heard the original plan was for Drew McIntyre to win the title, but they changed it since he's going to shoot a movie with Batista. Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, I actually have. Where's that editorial about that? I was just reading that editorial earlier about Drew. Drew and his issue, like that situation. Let's see, where's it at? Where is it? Where's But I will say this: Drew McIntyre has a smoking wife. I'm just saying, he got a beautiful woman for his wife. As a very blessed man, I'll say that. Let's see, where was that editorial? Because I know. Let's see, where is it? What is the movie that? I mean, yeah, he's doing the movie with Batista. Oh, Highlander. That's it. That's it. Highlander. I think it works out because I mean he is a Scotsman. He is a Scotsman, so you know it's an authentic Scottish voice, an authentic Scottish man doing the thing that his heritage is known for, his country, his home country, his land, his people. Yeah, I think honestly, I think he'll do well with it. I really do think he will do fine. Now, matter of fact, let me pull up that editorial. I want to read this. And see, if you noticed, I'm kind of changing up how I do things here. And I'm really glad, Oos, that you're interacting with me on this, because it really does bring the people in. I encourage everybody else to be able to drop comments on here and bring up some questions, man. I would be more than glad to produce some hot takes, if you will, on things like this. Now, it says here, according to Wrestling Inc., last year, former WWE champion Drew McIntyre made his silver screen debut in The Killer's Game, an action thriller starring wrestler turned actor Dave Batista. Looking ahead, the two will reportedly reunite in another film, which is what did I just say? Highlander. Yeah. So according to Deadline, McIntyre has joined the cast of rebooted Highlander alongside Batista. The original film, released in '86, featuring Christopher Lambert. I love that movie. My dad got me into watching movies like this, and I always loved swordsmen. I'm Norse pagan myself, so the ways of the warrior, it always drew me into watching movies like that. Christopher Lambert played as Connor MacLeod, a Scottish immortal swordsman who battles other immortal warriors. Clancy Brown would portray Connor's main rival, the Kurgan. In the remake, Henry Cavill's taken on the role of Connor MacLeod, with McIntyre reportedly slated to be his brother Angus MacLeod. Batista, known to WWE's fans as the Animal, will portray the Kurgan. So that's actually pretty damn cool. I like that. Now, also early in 2026, WWE will set out a European tour in the lead up to the Royal Rumble PLE, which emanates from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on January 31st, 2026. That's another hot topic I want to bring up. All these shows happening in Riyadh, I think it's a little much. Now, there's a couple of things that were said that were kind of inflammatory by other wrestling promotions, i.e. Major League Wrestling, MLW. They kind of went out on a limb and kind of, took shots at WWE for running these shows in Saudi Arabia, taking the blood money, they call it blood money shows. But I mean, hey, it's whoever's got the highest money. Even though, yes, I am from Louisiana, I am pissed off that WrestleMania 42 is not going to be in New Orleans like they've slated it out to be, because Vegas bought out the bid, like long after it was already announced that WrestleMania 42 was going to be in New Orleans at the Superdome. That pissed me off. That really did, because I really wanted to go out to Mania, you know, because it was in my home state. I live in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's a 3-hour drive, 4 hours with traffic. If you also try to find yourself a parking spot near the Superdome, which is god-awful difficult. But be that as it may, you know, I was really pissed off about that. Whenever they took WrestleMania 42 from New Orleans, I have, like, why? Why take Mania like that? Okay, yeah, he's the perfect guy for the role, but WWE did not acknowledge his work. He had one of the best feuds with CM Punk, also with the Samoans. I think he's earned a title reign. Honestly, I've had enough of Cody Rhodes. Hold on. Oos, I love your enthusiasm on this one. But, the way it is right now, with Cody being champion, getting that title back from Cena, it's a bit of a, it's like a part 2 to this story. Like part 1, beating Roman Reigns, I would say that was part 1. Part 2 was getting back at Cena and getting that championship back to where he could defend against other big names to put those other guys up. Because, you know, you got one main eventer. You've got one main eventer. You take that main eventer, you put him up against other people who can potentially become main event. Like, you turn that one main eventer into 5 main eventers, and those 5 can put over the next crop and create 5 more main eventers. So that's the thing I like about what's going on with WWE right now. They're doing an outstanding job creating the future of this business. Now, some people say too many, too fast, but whenever you think about the main roster, you don't want anybody on the weak side of the roster. So my honest push and pull on this one is there's a lot of give and take with how they construct themselves and how they build these superstars. Look at what they did with Roman Reigns, Cody, LA Knight, Cena, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. They did outstanding. CM Punk, outstanding with Roman Reigns' title run as undisputed world champion. Cody beating him at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia was the end to that story, to part 1. Cody being champion for almost a full calendar year, for just about 12 months, you know, and then losing it to Cena at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. Now, I liked it. I didn't love it. Cena getting that title one more time, because it is his last run. 2025 is the ride off into the sunset era for John Cena. You know, like I said earlier, his final match will be December 13th at the last WWE Saturday Night Main Event PLE of the year, and the last PLE of the year period for WWE. I am really happy about that. But to go back on Drew McIntyre, with Drew, yes, he is an outstanding athlete. Yes, they have written him a wonderful storyline. Wonderful storyline. I love the character build. I'm not big on the bitch moaning and complaining. Pardon my language there. All the nagging and what about me? Where's my title shot? You know, shit like that. You know, the crowd is starting to feel a little redundant. They feel like it's getting a little redundant. But at the same time, take into consideration what could happen later on. Now, since Drew is going off to film Highlander with Batista, I'm all for it. Hey, anything to put money in their pockets. Now, because Drew McIntyre, or Drew Galloway, his shoot name is Drew Galloway. If I'm not mistaken, that is his shoot name. He uses his shoot name in the Indies. It's an awesome opportunity to get some more media exposure. This movie. I hope he does well with it. I hope they sell huge in the box office. Like, I wish nothing but the best for anybody who is on that WWE main roster. But whenever it comes to him being champion again, I say something happens soon. Give it Survivor Series, be it Royal Rumble, be it WrestleMania. I mean, you never know. Drew might win the Royal Rumble again. But as a heel this time. Him as a heel winning the Rumble and taking on Cody one more time. Maybe making that deal, that some of them have done, that if Drew loses, he cannot challenge Cody again as long as he's champion. I would not mind that. But that's also going to break down the credibility of both Cody and Drew unless that match makes so much sense. It has to make sense. That's why you got a lot of these fans saying, why is Drew over here still? Why is he still going for this title? Make it make sense. Why not put him on an undercard championship to get his credibility back? Because he doesn't need to be United States champion. He doesn't need to be Intercontinental champion again. But it would not be a bad idea. Honestly, I think if he was a face and he takes out Dominic, that would be wonderful. I would love it. But that would mean it kind of feels like they're going to step Drew down a peg. They're going to knock him down a peg instead of keeping him up there with the rest of the main eventers. Like the big top, like the elite of the main roster. Now, whenever it comes to Royal Rumble and the movie that he's doing, excuse me, I've had a really long day. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I've been up for 12 hours. I usually sleep late on Sundays, but be that as it may, it's all right. Let's keep this thing going. Now, whenever it comes to Drew's filming obligations with Highlander, it could potentially affect his potential Royal Rumble or the tour appearances that are not yet happening yet, So with that being said, it's going to be, I think it'll be interesting if they do push Drew in that angle. I think it would be interesting for him to win the Royal Rumble and for him to go at Cody one more time, and if, he wins, he becomes the undisputed champion. If he loses, he doesn't challenge Cody again for the title as long as Cody Rhodes is champion. Now, of course, this is the passing of the torch situation because Cena and Cody, whenever Cody beat Cena at SummerSlam to get that championship back, to me, that was Cena's passing of the torch to Cody. Like, okay, now with my seal of approval, you are the next big thing in line. You are the next face of this company. And Cody has proven it time and time again. He can do it. He can do it. But he has to have the writers behind him. He's already got the fans behind him. You already know this. This is as obvious as the day is long. Cody Rhodes has the back, like his back. He's got the support of the fans. He's got the roster, of course, they're going to have their says. They're going to have their opinions. But it's what the company wants out of Cody Rhodes. And the moment they don't think that Cody Rhodes can continue being world champion or being undisputed champion, that's whenever they're going to say, okay, it's time for Cody's title run to end. We need to find a suitable opponent that will be able to beat him and make it make sense in order to bring that next champion to the limelight. One who is deserving of becoming undisputed world champion. Now, will it be Drew McIntyre? Who's to say? We got to watch and find out. Now, there's actually a decent amount of information about that. But moving forward, let's see. We got quite a decent amount of news. There was a certain superstar who had their take on Stephanie's, whenever Stephanie McMahon was announced that she was the first inductee of the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. Booker T had some reactions. Wrestling Inc. did cover that segment and got words from Booker T about that. 310, what's up? If WWE keeps relying on the current roster, most of the big superstars are already 40 plus years old. You have a point there. In the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to be terrible. They need to push new talent from NXT. I agree. But look, hey, okay. I have the word. I have some information to support this. Stephanie Vaquer, a little early, but she is a hot commodity. And she had an amazing match with Io Sky for the vacant Women's World Championship at WrestlePalooza. Those two are my favorite. Look, I got goosebumps right now just thinking about that match. That was an absolutely amazing match. Stephanie Vaquer is definitely one of those NXTs, even though she wasn't in NXT for long neither. And not to mention, she was the first woman to hold both the NXT and Women's North American Championships at the same time. The only other person that's been able to do that in NXT in the male side was Keith Lee, which that's another man we need to talk about soon, is where the hell has Keith Lee been? He's been leaving little breadcrumbs all over Twitter about him maybe coming back. Doesn't know where he's going to be coming back at. It could be AEW. He could debut at TNA. He could go back to NXT. He could show up on the main roster on either Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Who's to say? We just got to keep our eyes peeled and go look at the message boards. Well, maybe not the message boards, because there's a lot of dirt sheet guys out there that'll be like, oh, he's going to be here. Oh, he's going to be there. Oh, he's going to be right here. Oh, he's taking a contract. Maybe he's going back to AEW. Who's to say? Just pay attention. Just pay attention to keep your eyes open. See, but WWE always had an issue with black wrestlers in like Oba Femi, Carmelo, and even the one who faced Sammy. Oh yeah, dude, SmackDown, freaking Javon Evans, bro. That kid right there. That kid is the new face of hybrid style wrestling. And that's a hot take from me. Okay. I have been watching. Look, I got goosebumps. My hair is standing up on my arms right now. Watching that match with Sami Zayn for the United States Championship on SmackDown, that was great. Now, let's see, he's so good, but ever since the TKO changes, WWE hasn't been handling right. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, because there are some talents on NXT that should be main roster right now. Like you said, Oba Femi. Oba Femi is an absolute freaking monster, okay? I love that. I love that for him. I love what they've done with Oba. You know, yes, he did lose the NXT Championship to Ricky Saints last night at No Mercy. I did get to watch it. I will be bringing up the match card later on in a second. And what's happening, bro? Welcome into the Shed Podcast, Week in Wrestling. If there's any hot topics you want to talk about, feel to drop that comment down below. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and join the fun for the Week in Wrestling here, brought to you by Lil East Creations and the Shed Podcast. Do I have it all up? Hell no. That don't look good oiled up. Oh, and by the way, I do want to bring up a couple dates. October 11th, I will be making my debut for Southern Star Wrestling in Port Neches, Texas. I haven't been notified who my opponent is, but they also are going to be, I will be back November 1st in Port Neches. And then November 22nd, I will be in Livingston, Texas for Action Pack Wrestling APW. So that's my 3 dates as of right now. Yes, I still do wrestle. I am more of a shoot style. I rock the singlet, the long, like the calf high boots. I like to toss people around. Okay, I may only be 5'7" and 240 pounds, but I run around like a runaway freight train. Like I am hard to stop. Oh, the finisher is called the Pavement Driver, which is I pay homage to Mitsuharu Misawa's Emerald Flosion, but it's an Emerald Flosion variant. Instead of going up and completely over doing the brain buster, I just go off to the side. Like I go off this way. Like I still tilt over, but it's up and drop. It's like instead of Michinoku down the middle, it's off the side. Bam! It's freaking awesome. Check out my TikTok. I do have some matches there. I also have another finisher, which is a submission combo. I do the Bubba Bomb If you remember Bubba Ray Dudley's Bubba Bomb, the full Nelson, butt knuckle bomb, I guess you want to call it. And then I hang on to that full Nelson, I flip over into a camel clutch. I love that shit. That is my favorite combo to use. I break your back, make you humble. But anyway, moving forward, Booker T had some words to say about Stephanie McMahon's induction, being the first inductee for the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. Now, earlier this year, Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque, otherwise known as Triple H, officially took his place inside the WWE Hall of Fame for the 2025 Hall of Fame. This year, coming up, Stephanie McMahon has been inducted. The Undertaker came out in the American Badass entrance during WrestlePalooza, went go sit, hop the barricade, sit ringside next to Stephanie, and announce that she was the first. Big shout out to Iron Sheik, bro. Sheiky baby forever, brother. Now, like I said, he hopped that barricade, sat next to Stephanie in the crowd, and let her know that she was the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026. It was a very nice, it was a very heartwarming feeling, really. I figured it was going to happen eventually because, I mean, look at the things that Stephanie has done on national television in the WWE. Yes, she's Vince's daughter. I don't like to talk about Vince right now, especially with all the shit with the Janelle Grant case going on. And I really don't want to touch any subjects. I haven't really got any updated news about that. Last I heard, Vince and his representatives are still trying to bring it into arbitration instead of bringing it to court. But, it's... who's to say? Let me get some music in the background here.
Connected.
Oh, no. Get some boom bop in this bad boy. I like that boom bop style. Like some stuff that you be playing some Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Yeah, there we go. Now, on a recent edition of Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T, part of the 2013 and 2019 Hall of Fame classes as his individual Hall of Fame as Booker T, and then his second Hall of Fame ring with his brother Stevie Ray as part of Harlem Heat. Rest in peace, sensational Sherry, Sister Sherry. I'm actually friends with her son, Jared. I love that family. I got to meet Sherry Martel before she passed away. This was early in my wrestling career. I met her in a locker room, and she was the sweetest woman I ever met. If anything, she gives the best hugs. And I will always remember that moment with Sherry Martel. She gives the best hugs. But yeah, Vince did have a birthday party. It wasn't yesterday. It was a little while back. It was probably like earlier this month, maybe. He did a lot of guests, but Stephanie didn't show up. I know that. I did see that. Matter of fact, Jim Cornette on the Jim Cornette Experience brought that up too. Or what? No, or was it the drive-thru? I think it was the drive-thru. I think it was Jim Cornette's drive-thru. Brian Last had brought up that question through the cornydrivetru@gmail.com with that question about, that comment about Vince having his birthday party. He invited people, But yeah, Booker T did react to the news about Stephanie's induction. And he said, I quote, Stephanie did so much for this business behind the scenes. A lot of people don't see the real work. I've been around Stephanie since she was a little kid running around the arenas. Literally, I watched her grow up and become the boss, start directing and producing my vignettes. I used to hate it. I used to hate when Stephanie would produce my vignettes because we may have to do that damn vignette 10 times for no reason other than she wanted perfection, unquote. Now, I will say that, but he also goes on to state, quote, truly the best at her craft as well as a trailblazer for women, he would continue on to say. Quote, so my thing is she's definitely warranted this honor to get a chance to walk down that aisle, thank the fans for this awesome ride that she was a part of and created a lot of it as well. It's definitely warranted. I'm so proud to see Stephanie make that walk. I'll be there for that one, end quote. So, might want to lose that shirt, homie. Roll Tide. Oh, shut up. One loss, bro. One loss. Oh, and by the way, Roll Tide these nuts. Love you, brother, but Roll Tide these nuts. Just wasn't our game. LSU had a bad first half. The second half, they tried to come back, but it was already in the cards. Second half, Ole Miss started dog walking us, bro, offensively and defensively. You know, defense tried their best to try to maintain the ball in the first half, try to defend, try to keep Ole Miss from scoring. It was that offense that wasn't on cue, man. That's how I feel about it. Yes, she's the reason John Cena, yep, because Stephanie and the rest of the team was about to fire Cena until she seen Cena freestyling backstage, and that's what started the whole Thugonomics Cena era of his career. So if not for Stephanie taking a chance on John Cena, you would not be the global superstar that he is today. So Stephanie did play a role in that. You're right. Good looking out, Oos. Now, the daughter of former CEO Vince McMahon, Stephanie's taken on a number of roles in relation to WWE, including SmackDown General Manager, Raw Commissioner, Chairwoman, Co-CEO. She enjoyed one reign as WWE Women's Champion. Yes, for those who didn't know, she was a former Women's Champion, as well as a grand stage match alongside Triple H at WrestleMania 34 against The Rock and Ronda Rousey. Right. But now she's serving as the host of the What's Your Story podcast, as well as Stephanie's Places on ESPN, which don't even get me started about this ESPN crap. Ooh, appreciate you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the endearing words, man. Plus, now, all jokes aside, I think there's a lot going on about that, and I mean, people don't understand just how much of a role Stephanie played in not only the Attitude Era, but from the Attitude Era moving into Ruthless Aggression and into the PG and modern eras of the WWE. She has done so much for this company and so much to help the progress, especially being one of the ambassadors for the women's division of professional wrestling. You know, it took her a little while to see just how good the women are in this company. But if it wouldn't have been for her pushing the Evolution PLE, which the first Evolution PLE was good for what it was worth, but being that it was the inaugural Evolution show, yeah, there was a couple ups and downs about it. But this year's past Evolution, this year's Evolution PLE was just chef's kiss. Love it. That was a great PLE for the ladies out there. Now, let me bring up another thing here. There was a former WWE, current TNA wrestler, and it just so happens to be one half of the TNA World Tag Team Champions, Matt Hardy, had some things to say about the PWI, the Pro Wrestling Insider Power 500 rankings. You know, basically saying that wrestlers should not be worried about this Power 500 ranking. It's how good are you? What is your reach? What is your significance? And what kind of matches, what kind of production, what kind of image are you giving out to the world of professional wrestling? What is your contributions that put you in the top 500 wrestlers in the world? Because they got some people on there that are mostly American wrestling fans, like strictly WWE or strictly AEW or strictly New Japan or strictly Stardom or strictly Tokyo Joshi, strictly Game Changer, strictly PWG, strictly Ring of Honor. There's always those ones. They're always die hard with that one brand. Myself, I love it all. I love the fact that professional wrestling has branched out so much that there's so many things to watch. Because think about it, WWE would not have half of the Asian like the Japanese or Chinese or hell, women from around the world, period, from the wrestling world coming into the WWE, if not for these major companies like Stardom, Tokyo Joshi, Choco Pro, Sendai Girls, because that's where Asuka came from, was Sendai Girls. Hikaru Shida was from Tokyo. Well, was she Tokyo Joshi? Was she Tokyo Joshi or was she Stardom? Who knows? Io Sky, formerly Io Shirai, Stardom. Probably one of the most prolific women of her generation coming out of Stardom Wrestling. Thekla, currently in AEW. She worked for Stardom. Let's see, who else? Riho. Riho is Sendai Girls, if I'm not mistaken. No. Tokyo Joshi. Tokyo Joshi. Let's see, who else? Mina Shirakawa, Stardom, Club Venus. Club Venus was the faction in Stardom that she was in. I did say Asuka, that's Sendai Girls. God, what's her name? Aja Kong. Aja Kong is prolifically known. Julia was Stardom. Yeah, you're right. Julia was Stardom, your current United States Women's Champion. Welcome in, Lance. Thank you. Appreciate that, bud. I mean, Lance, you of all people would know whenever we were watching Tej and Stardom with Billy and Ashley on the WGS Discord group, you know, for years, man. I mean, let's see. Wait. Hey, enlighten me on Hikaru Shida. Was it Tokyo Joshi or was it Stardom Hikaru Shida? Or was she Sendai Girl? I can't remember. Like, I can't put my finger on it for some reason. But anyway, a lot of the women's talent are coming from Japanese promotions and tearing it up in the States right now. I mean, look, Stephanie Vaquera. Sorry, she's my favorite. From Chile. But she made her name in CMLL, AAA. Well, no, I think it was AAA. Yeah, look, not sure. I'll get you. Now, to get back on this situation with pro wrestling, like every year, PWI releases its top 500 wrestlers in the industry today. That's worldwide. Okay? They do category awards like most popular or feud of the year. Like, you know, naturally fans will put a lot of weight behind these lists. But pro wrestling veteran Matt Hardy believes that the wrestlers themselves should not focus on the PWI 500 put out every year. It's nice to see. It's good to see that one magazine gives out this list of the top 500. But it's I think Matt Hardy here actually stands a good point. Thank you. Now, he goes on to say, and I quote, I say this all the time. People in wrestling, especially like people who worry about their PWI 500 ranking or whatever, you're worried about the wrong number. That's cool. I'll get him in a few. Now, they're worried about that wrong number, end quote. Hardy said during an episode of the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast, he says, I quote, the number you need to be worried about in pro wrestling is the amount of money that you're making. When it's all said and done. With everything you're doing, that's what your focus should be on as far as about having a high number. So don't worry about the Power 500. Worry about the money you make, the merchandise, your booking, your contract deals, any sponsorships, things like that. That's what matters more. Everybody's so worried that, oh, we're gonna get oh, I can't wait to be on. I want to see my face in that 500. And if they don't see their face in that edition of the Power 500, they get all butthurt and say, why the hell wasn't I there? I know I've done enough to get put in here. You think I'm worried about being in the Power 500? I've been wrestling for 15 years across the Gulf Coast. Not once have I ever been put on that Power 500. But you want to know what? I'm still going to keep going because I'm doing what works for me. I'm not worried about what works for everybody else. Just built different for a reason, baby. But moving on from that about Matt Hardy, you know, Hardy further expressed that he'd personally rather have a high number on the income side than have a high number in the Power 500. However, when he looked back at his original opinions of the Power 500, Hardy did admit that he originally thought it was cool during his early years. But by 2001, he really honestly stopped caring about it. He goes on to say, and I quote, "I haven't been concerned where I was ranked in it at any point since then. I think maybe the highest I ever ranked was in 2003, whenever I was doing the Matitude version 1, if I'm not mistaken." End quote. Huh? Yeah. Wrong one? Okay.
Oh, fuck, that's a zero sugar one.
Oh, you grabbed the zero sugar? Cream soda. Yeah. It's one of my favorite Dr. Peppers. The strawberry one's good, but I like the cream soda one. But nothing, and I mean nothing, topples the OG. Shout out to Waco, Texas, founding city of Dr.
We
Pepper.
need to go there to make our own Dr. Pepper.
Right? Now, big shout out to Wrestling Inc. on that editorial about Matt Hardy's opinion about the Power 500 rankings. And once again, this podcast is brought to you by Little East Creations and the Shed Podcast. We will not be doing Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia, because in our end of the world, that is 7 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time, whenever they're going to be doing this in Perth, Australia at 7 p.m. their time. I don't know if I'm sleeping in that studio again. That couch is extremely fucking uncomfortable. But on top of that, I have to wrestle that night on the 11th in Port Neches, Texas for my debut for Southern Stars Wrestling. Check them out on Facebook, Southern Star Wrestling, facebook.com/SSW for more details. I think Simon Miller said it is best he found out he was at 350 in the PWI and he's happy with that, and it's going to be something to look back at when he's old. Yeah, absolutely. Like, if I would ever hit the Power 500, I'd be like, whoa, I finally got into the magazines. But you know what? It's something nice to look back at. You know, you can take that hat and just hang it right there whenever your career is over and say, hey, I did this. I got recognized enough that I got put in the top 500 wrestlers in the entire wrestling industry. That's awesome. I don't care if I'm number 500. I'm just in it. I'm glad to be in it. I'm not worried about being number one. I'm glad to be a part of this thing. I'm just happy to be here. End of discussion there. Now, oh, nice. Okay. They ran out of cherry?
No, it's wine.
Oh, the single?
Yeah, no, there's some two in a pack. They're $1.50.
Oh, the twin packs. Yeah. Well, before tax.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. What else did I pull up here? Brought up. Oh, Braun Strowman. Semi-retired. He's looking to. Okay, what do you think about WWE wasting Randy Orton's potential? Excuse me, say what? Randy's potential is not being wasted right now. I don't know where you're getting that from. Let's see, they need to stop bringing him back if he's not going to turn heel. In other words, when we're going to see that Punk kick.
Can you give me a few hangers?
All right, hang on.
I need ones like with the bottom is too because the pants, they won't look.
Just fold your pants and use the clips on that one. Here. Turn it back. Look, I'm live right now. I am currently live streaming right now. I am live at the moment. You are cutting into this. Fold it. Fold it lengthwise. Hold on, I'm trying to teach my daughter a thing or two.
Yes.
Now, one more time. Oh no, that's not gonna work.
Told you.
Look, like this.
No.
Okay.
Oh, for the love of Pete. I'm live right now, and she wants to do this.
I'm Dr. Duffel.
Good
I'm Dr.
Christ on a cracker.
Talk Show with Hill's Pet Nutrition.
You pick an opportune time to ruin, well, I don't say ruin, but interrupt. You know I'm live. Come on now. Get. I don't know, Z, bye-bye. Now, let's see. Now, they need to start bringing him back if he's not going to turn heel. In other words, when they're going to see the Punk kick. I'm sorry, Oos. I like the enthusiasm here, but Randy Orton is a mainstay. After Cena retires, Orton is the only guy from the Ruthless Aggression era to still be actively on the roster. He's in outstanding shape. He gained 30 pounds? He was 250 something, maybe 260. He gained another 20 whenever he came back. That dude is a unit. I love what they're doing with Randy. I'm about it.
The number one for number two.
You know, it doesn't always, like, you're not always going to have to see him as a heel.
Nature
You're not always going to have him as a heel. Right now, he's a crowd favorite. He's a veteran. Whenever they're ready to turn him heel, they're going to turn him heel. So just be patient. You know, it's really up to creative to do this. Now, back to what I was saying about Braun Strowman. Apparently, Strowman stated in an editorial. Matter of fact, where is it? Where is it? I think it was through Fightful.com. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Let's see. Where is it? Fightful. Yeah, here we go. Let me pull up Fightful.com real quick. Whether he's heel or face, Randy's gonna get that legend pop. You damn right. Lance, dude, I couldn't have said it better myself. No matter if he's a face or a heel, Randy Orton is a legend. Legendary. Okay? You know, kind of like, like that one song Forever from Drake. Last name ever, first name greatest. Okay? Like that is just straight up. And that, to me, that's my hot take about that. Now, I don't know if anybody's been following what Natalia's been doing, both inside and outside of WWE. That's another segment I would like to talk about here before I go over the cards for Raw, NXT, SmackDown, also going over Victory Road and No Mercy. Which, hey, I love WWF No Mercy back in the day for Nintendo 64. I have that game. Still the greatest Nintendo 64 WWE game ever made. Hands down. Hell, I even made my character on there. I made my gimmick. I made Just Built Different Cody Hawkinz on there. And I'm an absolute monster. Even though my overall's kind of weak, I'm still trying to build up. And it's okay. Who's this? Now, let's see. Where's it at? They had this editorial about... Get off me. Get off me. No. Stop it. Come on, computer. Work with me now. Work with me now. Let's see. Here it is. This is an editorial from today around noon. Robert DeFelice talking about Braun Strowman saying that he's semi-retired from wrestling. I did want to kind of touch up on this one here. Now, in this Fightful.com editorial, Robert DeFelice, yeah, that's the last name. He goes on to say, Robert states that Braun Strowman says he wants to primarily focus on acting moving forward. Former WWE superstar Braun Strowman, whose real name is Adam Scherr, was released by WWE on May 2nd. I do remember that release. For the time being, he is focused on projects outside the square circle that may be how things stay. During an interview with Collider, where he was promoting his upcoming role in Deathgasm 2, Gormageddon, the former WWE Universal Champion stated that he was semi-retired while discussing his scene in the movie, which he was beating up extras who also happened to be professional wrestlers. Wonderful. I love that for him. He goes on to say, and I quote, I got to give it to the extras, the ones that gave their bodies up for me, because in my scene, I'm rough with these guys. And they're all pro wrestlers and stuff on their side jobs and stuff. So they were all unbelievably willing to give their bodies up to me for this film. We did a lot of takes with a couple of them. It was very physical. And he would also say, they were like, lay it in harder. I was like, no. In our business too, lay it in. Just like the wrestling business side of things. I say our business, but I'm semi-retired from wrestling now too because I want to be an actor. End quote. Now, that's actually, I've heard he's going to play Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th reboot. Yeah. I did see that. That was another editorial that I seen from Fightful. But if anything, I'm happy for Adam. I'm really glad that he's pursuing what he's going for in the acting world, in the film world, you know, all the more luck to him, because if he's gonna make more money there than he will in WWE, I say you go where the money's at, brother. Go make your money. Dr. Pepper. Excuse me. But while the meantime is the meantime, let's go over the card that we saw for Monday Night Raw, NXT, Friday Night SmackDown, TNA Victory Road, and NXT No Mercy. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Monday Night Raw, guys. This was one interesting Monday Night Raw. Following WrestlePalooza, the beginning segment, the promo. Now, there was the Cody Rhodes appearance, the promo with him and Seth Rollins in the Vision. Stephanie Valkyria's appearance as your new Women's World Champion. Penta and the War Raiders in a no disqualification 6-man tag team match against the New Day and Grayson Waller. You also had Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. Now, Cody had a really great promo here with Seth Rollins, cementing the fact that, you know, Seth is like, what do you think of me, blah, blah, blah. Cody's like, what do I think of you? You changed my life. You know, Seth being his shield at WrestleMania 40, helping him complete the story by defeating Roman Reigns and becoming the new undisputed world champion, the undisputed WWE champion. You know, he was constantly validating Seth. But I feel right here that Rollins called himself the Alpha. Rhodes reminded him that he's 3-0 against Cody is 3-0 against Seth. All 3 times they faced each other, Cody Rhodes has beaten Seth Rollins. Now, he also asked, this next go-around, do you think it's going to be any different because of the Vision? Will he beat him because of the Vision, or will Seth beat Cody because he's the better wrestler? That's the question. And the only way you're going to find out is at Crown Jewel, Perth, Australia, Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It's going to be nuts. I'm probably not going to be awake. I might be awake. I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to be doing the watch-alongs or anything like that. I'm not going to go live because I have some business I have to tend to. I have a couple things that I have to get to before I travel out to Port Neches, Texas for my debut at Southern Stars Wrestling. I am in a singles match. I'm ready for that. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I got to get some new boot laces for my boots because I want it to match my gear colors. I'm ready for that. It's so simple. It's the little things that I love about my gimmick, because my colors are black and green. Black and green. Well, except for my purple and gold here. I'm a Tigers fan through and through. Go Tigers. But anyway, now we had the no DQ 6-man tag match. War Raiders and Penta would get that victory over the New Day and Grayson Waller. They had the Stephanie Valkyria's promo, which it was good to see her on the mic. God, that lady is stunning in her corset. I'm sorry. It's just, yeah, I don't, love her for it. And I'm happy to see her with the title. You know, Oos was bringing that up earlier about NXT talent moving up and stepping into that main roster spots. They've already got plenty of guys in the main roster, so they have to work them in. Little by little, they brought in Javon. They brought in the Creed brothers. They brought in guys from NXT, like for the Wyatt Six. God, what was it? Gacy. And then wait, who else? I mean, they brought in Pretty Deadly, but I'm sorry, it's more like Pretty Dreadful, Pretty Dreary, like what Jim Cornette says about Pretty Deadly. I'm not a big fan of him, but you know, Grayson Waller, he moved up. The War Raiders, they started in NXT, went to WWE, they got released, they both came back. They're back, they're gone, they're back again, you know, which is cool. Definitely about it. Jay Cargill even though she was more AEW than anything. Stephanie Bacare, Roxanne Perez is from NXT. Come on, she's only been wrestling in the main roster for a year. That's it. A little, maybe a little bit longer. So, I really see Tiffany Stratton. That's another one. Okay. What else could I say on that one? It's been a great run for all of these NXT men and women on the main roster, and they're doing an outstanding job. They are. Let's see, moving into Bayley and Roxanne Perez. Of course, Bayley's been doing this both sides of Crazy Street, facing heel on each side. She's got the good guy on this shoulder, the bad Bayley on this shoulder. The good Bayley here, the hugger, and then the role model asshole thing. The whole ding dong hello crap, which I love that. That was good. Bayley would defeat Roxanne Perez in that match. Then Valkyrie would excitedly congratulate Bayley, who appeared very cold and shoved Valkyria to the mat, shouting at her, quote, "You think you can hug me? Do you know who I am? Stay out of it." This, that, and third. Then there was Rusev versus JD McDonough. Of course, the JD was the lamb to the slaughter. Rusev would defeat JD McDonough by submission. And then you also had LA Knight versus Jey Uso, where Uso would defeat LA Knight via pinfall, even though they had the BS of, at least one Uso helped LA Knight to take on the Vision kind of situation. Fans are starting to get curious to see if Jey Uso is going to join the Vision. Who's to say? We're going to find out tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Now, getting on to NXT right before this was the last NXT before No Mercy this past last night. Obafemi faced Trick Williams title for title. Lainey Reed versus Candice LeRae in a speed tournament. Winner gets a shot at the Women's WWE Speed Championship, which is currently being held by Sol Ruka, who is also your NXT Women's North American Champion. Miles Bourne in a lights out match versus Lexis King. They started off the night with that one, actually. The lights out match. The last time these guys faced each other, Lexis King did get the win on Bourne on August 26th. Now, Bourne would defeat King, getting the pin by putting... Bourne would get the win by putting Lexis King through a Slim Jim table with a jumping takedown. Oh, wait. There we go. Sorry about that. Now, Bourne did get the win there. Moving forward, Tavion Heights versus Ethan Page. Heights would defeat Page to get a shot at the NXT North American Championship at No Mercy. Yeah, the lights out match was pretty damn awesome. I'll give it that. Candice LeRae versus Fabi Apache from, I'm guessing Fabi Apache is from Evolve, if I'm not mistaken. Reed would face and defeat Candice LeRae in that qualifier. Jordan Grace would face Ariana Grace in a singles match, but then they would, Blake Monroe would end up interrupting that match, and it would lead to a cage match at No Mercy, which I love the build between Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace would defeat Ariana Grace, though. So Jordan was the better Grace. And Ariana had a fall from Grace. But I need a fucking soundboard for this shit. All right, so Dark State versus Joe Hendry and Chase U was the next match up. Dark State would defeat Hendry and Chase U in a 6-man tag match. Obafemi versus Trick Williams, title for title. that match would get interrupted with the appearance of the complete Matt Cardona representing TNA in the big TNA invasion, because of course the tensions have been getting big and getting really, really like just interesting between TNA and NXT clashing together. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a hell. I love this storyline. Now, my honest opinion here about NXT, Obafemi. Just saying this right now. Obafemi, get your ass to the main roster, my guy. You have been a dominant NXT champion up until last night. I'll bring that up in just a second about No Mercy. But let's get to Friday Night SmackDown real quick, will you? Shall we? This was a very fun show here, minus a couple of takeaways. One of those takeaways was the triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton putting her title on the line against Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. Everybody's seen the damage. Jade got a gnarly 3-inch gash in her eyebrow. She was split open. That girl was bleeding like a good pig. All right, that girl was bleeding everywhere. Like the moment that referee saw a drop of blood come off of Jade Cargill's face, gloves on. I ain't trying to die here today. And so let's take a look at what happened here. Now, Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman would start the show with a big promo, pumping up, getting this thing ready, having the battle of words and wits with Paul Heyman and the Vision. Rhodes would end up throwing the first punch at Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, only to get dominated. Next thing you know, Randy Orton comes in and cleans house. Speaking of Randy Orton, Oos, respect to the opinion there, brother, but trust me, there ain't nothing wrong with Orton being a baby face right now. I'd say he's more of a hard face than a baby face. Cody's a baby face. Randy's a hard face. He's the legendary face. No matter if he turns face or heel, that crowd's going to be behind him all the way 110%. Now, next, Street Profits would be in a tag team match against Mello Don't Miss, Carmelo Anthony, and The Miz. Last time these guys went against each other was in Clash in Paris, August 31st. But the Profits would get the win over Mello Don't Miss, which puts them as #1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships that are being held by the Wyatt Six. Julia, the Women's United States Championship, and her partner and representative Kiana James took on B-Fab and Mi Chen. B-Fab, I don't know, man. I'm not feeling B-Fab all that much right now. Like, she's not bad, but she is not good enough to be on national television. Maybe it's the look, maybe it's her ability to speak. Her gift of gab is there, but her gift of jab is not. That's just me, though. Mi Chen carried the majority of that match. Julia and James would end up defeating B-Fab and Mi Chen in the end. Then we go on. Sami Zayn issuing an open challenge for the United States Championship. And who comes out? NXT's own bounty boy, Javon Evans. Hell of a match between these two guys. Look, I'm just bringing it up. Look, I got goosebumps, bro. My skin is crawling. That was a hell of a match between Javon Evans and Sami Zayn. They brought the roof down with this one. The rest of the night was cake for everybody else. But as hard as Javon Evans tried, he could not get the win. He could not get the United States Championship because of the resiliency and the warrior spirit of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn would win and retain the WWE United States Championship. Then the main event, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, Jade Cargill, triple threat for the Women's World Championship. There was a lot of things going on in this match. A lot of storytelling, a lot of ins and outs. Looking at the review here, I'm also going to take some notes from I'm also going to take some notes from the Bleacher Report because I did watch it, but I do like how they articulate their descriptions of the matches. Last time Stratton and Cargill fought to a double count out on SmackDown on September 12th, Jax lost to Stratton in Clash of Paris. The main event this week, of course, the women's triple threat. Entrances and introductions took up so much time that the show had to go to break about a minute into the match. Of course, they're known for this. You know, that's no surprise there. Once again, WWE is known for getting hot at the beginning and then going to commercial once somebody goes down to the outside. Like, come on, really? All these damn commercials while the match is just starting? Come on. You could have gone through commercial during the entrances and then come back on the air and then do the introductions inside the ring and then get the match and let it go 5 minutes before you go to commercial. Production, get on the ball, boys. All three of these women got us some really good offense during the second segment, but again, it felt like they were getting cut short by the commercial breaks. It was aggravating. It was a pain in the ass for me, too. Jax ended up being slammed onto the steel steps by Cargill, but she rolled back into the ring after only a few moments. That's when things went bad. Tiffany was late to break up the pin by Cargill, so Jax covered for it by kicking out. Then, when she laid down for Tiffany, like she was originally supposed to, the ref stopped the count at 2 when there was clearly no kick out. So, ref messed up. Ref miscued herself. Look, it happens, but it should not happen on national television. If you know the finish, you know the finish, okay? The ref obviously thought Jax would kick out like she did a moment earlier, but that's what happened. No matter what happens, whenever I first broke into the business, I started off as a referee. The one thing that did not change is don't expect a kick out. Count to 3. You can always make up for counting all the way to 3 whenever there's a kick out and that shoulder comes out at like 9.9999 out of 10. Okay? You can always make up for that. But to not go all the way down for that third count, that's where the mistake was made. That was a very rookie mistake. It happens to the best of us, but it should not be on national television. That's just me, though. You know, I need to start a segment called "What's Up With That?" You know, featuring JBD, Cody, Hawkinz. That would be a great one, though. That would be a cool little segment. That would be really cool. Because I want to do like the little button segments, like have all the little prompter sounds to where when I'm done with that segment, and then it just bust up, "What's up with that?" You know, like the hurricane. I love that shit. Now, the ref obviously thought about that, but Stratton did defeat Jackson Cargill to close off the night and retain the championship. Now, the way Tiffany hit that swanton and then immediately took a super kick, mint. Beautiful execution, wonderful timing. It's kind of weird when wrestlers wear the same color. That's another thing I want to bring up. You know, choose a different color scheme. If you're going to be in the same match together, choose a different color. Unless you're a tag team. But overall, a solid SmackDown minus that main event. Let's not call it a botch. Let's call it a hiccup. Fair? Fair. Okay, we're going to call it a hiccup. Now, 2 pay-per-views happened. Well, 1 pay-per-view and 1 PLE. We're going to talk about TNA Victory Road right now. So, this was, let me go ahead and get down to the match card here. You had the System versus Order 4. The System would end up winning that match, that tag team match. Ash by Elegance would come out and relinquish the TNA Knockouts World Championship. She would hand that to the TNA president, Carlos Silva, and Santina Morella was in the ring as well whenever she announced that she's no longer able to perform and having to relinquish the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Now, after that, Santino would announce a battle royal that last night with the final two women would receive a shot at the vacant TNA Knockouts World Championship later on in the show. Battle Royal, the last two were Lei Ying Lee, formerly, oh God, what was her name? Dadgummit, Mei Ying Lee. She was the one with the kung fu positions and the fans she looked awesome. That's all I know. Whew. But those two were left, Kalani Jordan and Lei Ying Lee. Sorry, I gotta get that shit right. They were the final two in that battle royal. They would go on to fight for the TNA Knockouts World Championship later on in the evening. Indy Hartwell would promise a fair officiating. Gia Miller caught up with Indy Hartwell, who would officiate the Kalani Jordan versus Ye Ling Yi match. Hartwell would vow to call it down the middle, but she also admitted she would be scouting the winner ahead of Bound for Glory. Nick and Ryan Nemeth would face Matt Cardona and the Hometown Man in a tag team match. The Hometown Man and Cardona would win that match. Mike Santana versus Ridge Holland. Mike Santana would, have a really great match with him. Winner, Mike Santana. Matt Hardy cleared for the AJ Francis match. Doctors were checking on Matt Hardy after he was driven through a table by AJ Francis on the Victory Road Countdown show. Hardy was informed that he was cleared to compete against Francis. Moose would face Mustafa Ali. Winner. Let's see. Winner, Mustafa Ali. Joe Hendry would also face Eric Young in a singles match. Hell of a match there. Joe Hendry would get the win. Matt Hardy would face AJ Francis later on in a tables match. Winner, Matt Hardy would get the win. Lei Ying Lee versus Kalani Jordan for the vacant TNA Knockouts World Championship. Winner and new TNA Knockouts World Champion, NXT's Kalani Jordan. Another NXT women's wrestler with TNA gold around her waist. That worries me sometimes, Steve Macklin would defend the TNA International Championship against Frankie Kazarian. Heck of a match there. Winner, new champion, the new TNA International Champion, Frankie Kazarian. Congratulations. Leon Slater would face Myron Reed. Leon Slater defending the TNA X Division Championship. A hell of a high-flying match. But in the end, let's see. In the end here, the winner for that match, and still TNA X Division Champion, Leon Slater. Going now, we are moving to, let's see. Let's go ahead and check this out here. Last night, NXT hosted No Mercy as a PLE. Let's go ahead and pull up the card here real fast. All right, so announced for this show last night, you had the NXT Championship match, you had the North American title, the Women's Championship, the Women's Speed Championship, you had a singles match between Javon Evans and Josh Briggs, and then the weaponized steel cage match between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. Javon Evans and Josh Briggs, that was a banger of a match with Javon. If that's not impressive enough, how he worked against Sami Zayn Friday night, and then coming out last night to face Josh Briggs. The dude is absolutely ungodly. But, you know, hey, your boy Bouncy. So he proved that both Friday and Saturday night. Javon Evans getting the win over Josh Briggs. The WWE Women's Speed Championship, Soruka would defend her championship against Jada Parker. Of course, with the speed matches, these are 5-minute matches. In the end, Soruka would defeat Jada Parker to retain the Speed Championship. That weaponized steel cage match I brought up earlier between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe, that was a knockdown, drag-out match. Jordan Grace getting the win on Blake Monroe. The NXT North American Championship was defended last night. Ethan Page defending his championship against Tavion Heights, a former no quarter catch crew member. Hell of a match, great back and forth, awesome spots, great sequences, but Ethan Page, All Legal Ethan Page, would win and retain the NXT North American Championship over Tavion Heights. Lola Vice would challenge JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship at No Mercy as well. Narrowly getting out by the skin of her teeth, JC Jane would win and retain the NXT Women's Championship. Then the main event, NXT Champion Obafemi defending his NXT Championship against #1 contender Ricky Saints. My boy Ricky. Oh man, this was a great match between these two men. I had a lot of fun watching this match from beginning to end. I was really happy with this match. I didn't care who won it. But my boy Ricky did get the win and new NXT champion Ricky Saints. You know, and I was bringing up about Obafemi earlier. It's time for Oba to move up. Like, I'm not saying that Obafemi's worn out his welcome in NXT, but he has had such a successful title reign as NXT champion that it is time for Obafemi to step in with the big dogs on the main roster, be it Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Honestly, I think he would do well in Raw, but he would do better in SmackDown. Now, that's a hot take right now. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Obafemi would be better in Monday Night Raw or SmackDown? Leave some comments down below. And with that being said, that will end our episode of the Week in Wrestling. This was an awesome, awesome episode. There was a lot to talk about here. I love the conversation. Oos, Lance, Justin, thank you. Thank you for dropping in. 310 Man Ruth, Brett, welcome in. Thank you. Chopper TV, thanks for the drop. So that's it, man. We'll see y'all next week on the next episode of Week in Wrestling. I am Just Built Different, Cody Hawkinz. Y'all have a wonderful